Bryce Harper and Rob Manfred, are they meeting in a cage match soon, or is this all going to get resolved by the next collective bargaining agreement? Find out soon here on ESEN. What's going on, everyone? This is Logan Landers here with the Elite Sports Entertainment Network, joined, of course, by Jay McLovin. We are here today to talk about the recent situation in which Bryce Harper and Rob Manfred got into it a little bit in the locker room of the Philadelphia Phillies clubhouse. They had a meeting behind closed doors, and some harsh words were thrown around on each side, and we're here to break it down, talk about it, and what the future could mean for the sport of baseball, and if we could be going into a lockout. We're going to talk about all that and then some here today on the show. Join me once again, Jay McLovin. We're going to get your thoughts on this, Jay, and this tumultuous situation between one of the brightest stars, of course, in baseball in the last 10, 15 years, and the commissioner of the league, and Rob Manfred, in this now highly politicized nose-to-nose meeting that they had a couple of days ago, in which Bryce Harper said, and I'm going to keep it clean, get the F out of our clubhouse, is how it ended. So, Jay, what were your thoughts reading this? And, of course, ESPN was the first one who reported this. So what were your thoughts on the stern talking to between these two powerful people in Major League Baseball?
Yeah, it's amazing what you can say and not say to the higher ups of life. Just to give you a little background. So basically, Manfred, what he does is every year he'll go out to 30 clubhouses. He'll go in there, he'll talk with the players. He'll get a temperature check, just trying to kind of keep building up the relations between the commissioner's office and his players. That's his thing, right? So he goes into the Phillies clubhouse. Now, obviously, we're getting ready to come to a new CBA. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we're getting ready to come to a new CBA, which in 26, could be then causing.
Yes, going to be December 1st to 26.
Yes. So obviously we are at the precipice of a lockout season next year. So obviously Manfred goes into the Phillies clubhouse, starts to have his speech, starts to talk about the cap that could be coming to baseball. And Bryce Harper gets up, gets in the commissioner's face, goes nose to nose with the commish. And yes, I will keep it clean as well. Tells him to get the F out of our clubhouse. Now, Logan, I don't know many spots or many worlds that you can go in there and tell the highest person in the organization to get the F out of your clubhouse and not be fined or suspended or, whatever else they want to levy against you, right? And so far, this has been a couple of days now since this happened, and nothing has been uttered about it since then or anything. So I don't know what Manfred's true reaction is going to be about this. I don't know if he's going to levy out some punishments on Bryce for the choice of words that he used to the commish. But at the end of the day, hell with it. Bryce, stand your ground. Because let me tell you something. You cannot think you're going to go into a clubhouse and tell players that you're going to put a cap on what teams can spend each and every season. Because they know, just like you know, and just like I know, when that happens, those big 5, 6, 7, $800 million, 10, 11, 12-year contracts, yeah, one or two things is going to happen. Either A, they're going to get done away with and go back to normal base salaries, or number two, they're just going to defer the hell out of that money. And now you're going to see players, basically Ohtani and Yamamoto and them, what they did, you're going to see that be the new norm throughout baseball, where everybody's going to have all these deferred salaries up until Manfred decides to do away with deferred salaries. And then that could be a whole nother issue in and of itself. But you got to imagine, you cannot go into a clubhouse and tell players that you're messing with their money and think that they're going to be happy to see you. I can already tell you, Rob. Hey, Rob, if you're listening, I can tell you what the temperature check's going to look like. It's going to be blistering hot. They're going to be pissed. They're going to want your head on a platter, and it's not going to go well. And I think Bryce Harper was probably one of what many other people probably wanted to say to him, but didn't really have the guts to stand up and say it to it face to face. So, Bryce Harper, I salute you for sticking up for the other baseball players who didn't have the guts or the gumption to stick up for what they believed in. What a time to be alive. play ball.
You're not kidding, Jay. And things are hot. Like I said, we're about a year and a half away from a potential lockout if all things, go the way they are. Obviously, we know the MLB PA, the Players Association, they want to keep their money. I mean, why not, Jay? They're the ones who are raking in the dough. I mean, you see all these contracts. You mentioned Ohtani, Yamamoto, just for two examples. But I mean, my God, look how much money Bryce Harper's making himself. He's not one to give up any of that money or take lesser deals. And if the MLB wanted to implement a salary cap, they should have done this years ago, Jay, before the money really kind of started to spiral out of control. Because here in the last, it feels like, especially 5 years, the contracts just went through the roof. I mean, I remember this off season, we were talking about all the moves the Dodgers made, how much money they shelled out. I mean, they are still a $1 billion team with how much money they're giving players in deferred money, because guess what, Jay? They found a loophole and they were able to exploit it. That's what good management does. Harper already said that him and the players aren't scared to lose 162 games, saying, hey, look, we've got our money. We're not afraid to sit out. We'll gladly sit out, 162 games because we're still going to get paid. We still got all this money. Now, who really is going to hurt, Jay, isn't the major league players, but it's the minor league players, right? Because those guys still get paid peanuts. They got a bump in pay, I believe, a year or two ago. Finally, I mean, those guys are still, half of them still are working at a local Foot Locker or something just to pay bills because they're still not getting paid a ton. I mean, you saw in the draft, you saw guys who get paid a lot less money than should be. We saw the draft attendance was also just awful, that I don't even think if anyone showed up to the draft, any players, which is a telling sign for the league, for the commissioner, and how that they think money is distributed across, the majors, the minor leagues, and all these young prospects. And, Bryce said, the word salary cap never did officially get thrown out, but it was obviously heavily hinted in that discussion. And I'll give this to Rob Manfred, Jay. Whenever Bryce said, get the F out of our clubhouse, Manfred said, I'm not going to get out of here. I'm going to stay right here. So he didn't back down. Nick Castellanos was kind of the voice of reason in this, Jay. He said, hey, he's kind of off in the corner. He's like, hey, I've got some more questions here, Mr. Manfred. So he tried to diffuse the situation, which that's what a good teammate does. They kept going. They shook hands, but it did say that Harper declined to answer the phone calls for Manfred the next day. So there's still some sore feelings here, I'm sure. Obviously, we know Bryce has been in the league for many, many years now. He's one of the more respected players around the league, and obviously a lot of the players in the PA trust his opinion and his what he has to say. But it's interesting, though, because, I mean, MLB is in a very odd position right now because it feels like they do something really good, right? All these guys getting paid all this money. You look at the attendance for like the All-Star game. It was great. You see the Speedway Classic, which is coming up this weekend at the time of this recording. Jay, that's going to be the highest. Well, it's recorded to be the highest number. It's going to break the single game record for attendance with over 85,000 people there. So attendance-wise, everything seems to be great, that they're still bringing in money as a league. But the main issue, I mean, we've talked about it forever, was the competitive balance, right? You see, teams like the Dodgers, teams like the Yankees, et cetera, who shell out, hundreds of millions of billions of dollars. But then you have teams like, the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Miami Marlins and the Athletics, who are not even in like the $100 million range at sometimes. I mean, you look at Paul Skeens, who's one of the best young pitchers in the game right now, and you don't even hear about, oh, this is what he's doing on the Pirates. You hear more chatter about where is he going to go to. That's not how it should be. He's barely over a year into the league, if that. So that's an issue that they definitely have to deal with. Now, I don't know if the league is ever going to get into a salary cap situation. But that's just what we're here to discuss. We're going to hear your comments, though, in the description, in our comment sections, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, you name it. You can find us anywhere because we're all kind of questioning what's going to happen. Now, I don't want to see a lockout. Jay, I know you don't want to see a lockout. Granted, our teams aren't doing too hot right now. You're doing better than my team, but I still don't want to see a lockout. And I hope that we can come to a resolution with the players and with the commissioner and with the guys in the front office so we don't have a potential lockout and that we don't lose any baseball because, Jay, remember, let's not forget, they lost the season in, what was it, 94. They had a lockout. They didn't have a World Series that year. So we don't want a repeat of that. We don't want teams to lose, in any playing time for the young players or anything like that. But this is all just hypothetical what ifs. Hopefully they can get something figured out in the offseason during the season. And we don't have to worry about this, but we're still about a year and a half away, give or take. And it's going to be interesting to see the further discussions with the players and with the reps and how this is all hopefully going to get fixed. And that way we're not sitting here, Jay, on this hot July day next year, 2 years from now, twiddling our thumbs because there's no baseball on. So let's hope we don't get to that point. But time will tell. That's just our thoughts, our opinions on it. Like I said, we want to hear yours in our comment section, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, you name it. You can find us over here. And Jay, you got one more thing here on your mind. I can see you're anxiously waiting. You're waiting. You're biting your fingernails. What you got?
So, I put a little something together real fast. And I thought to myself, one of the old baseball songs of the greats, every time you go to a ballpark, they always sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." Every stadium plays it. Every stadium does. Even Ozzy Osbourne tried to do it. Didn't do too well, but he
did his best.
And I thought to myself, what would Bryce Harper sing, or how would he do a rendition of that for the commissioner? And it went something like this: "Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. Just don't ever bring the commissioner back. Take me out to the ball." Something like that. You got to imagine. You don't ever want to see that commissioner ever again. Don't come to my clubhouse. You just stay in your office. I'll stay in my office, and we're good.
We're going to stay on separate sides of the room here. If you're coming in, I'm going out, vice versa. That's how it's going to be. We'll see how it goes, though. Obviously, some sore feelings there between Harper. No love loss, obviously, with Harper and Manfred, but who knows? They might have a nice drink over the offseason and figure it out. We'll find out, though, as time goes on. But for Jay McLovin, I've been your host and producer, Logan Landers. Guys, until next time, this has been an episode here on the Elite Sports Entertainment Network. Enjoy the rest of your